Game 5 is on the board. I forgot there. 3-1 down. Looking at this kingdom, we have Ambassador that shows up again, also with Guardian. And here, I want to put your attention on Invest. Invest is a card that has captured my attention recently, and I'm happy to see it show up in a league match here. I'm able to test out some of my ideas regarding Invest, and I'll share them with you as the game goes along. The opening here, okay, well, the board looks kind of funny because what can you do here? Probably line up a bunch of mystics and then buy provinces, and that is about the end of it, right? So to get there, we both open with Hermit and Ambassador. In this kingdom, I'm not overly concerned with going double Ambassador, trying to get thin very quickly, because okay, we have Guardian. Well, that's not the reason why. The reason why is I feel like you could manage a deck with some copper in it. Plus, you have Hermit and the Madman around to help deal with some of the trash in some of the estates that'll come in. So the Ambassador has a little bit less work to do. So I wasn't too keen on going for double Ambassador here. And I like Hermit, I like Madman. Great card. And if you use your Madman, you could probably get an Altar, which trashes alongside the Hermit. So the Ambassador is important early, just, it's kind of auditing, just checking your opponent. Just make sure you have your deck under control. If not, I'll punish you for that. Now, all right, let's talk about Invest. We have an investment from the Pixie on the Mystics, right? So to me, that says, I think the Pixie is saying to me that I think you're interested in Mystic. And they're right, I am interested in Mystic. That is probably the best card on the board. They're probably the card that you want to play a lot of. I play my Ambassador, return 2 coppers, pass it back. And then I see my Hermit. They don't collide, which I'm happy about. And I'm going to get my Madman here. And the Pixie will do something similar here. Yeah, Hermit, gain Hermit usually translates to gain Madman. So we both make the same play on turn 4 there. Now I have an opportunity to invest as well. So one of my thoughts about Invest is, here the Pixie will get a Madman. Just pass it back. One of my thoughts on Invest is, okay, if there's a key pile on the board, like Mystic in this case, your opponent invests in it. What do? You could play around it, not ever gain from that pile. Or what I thought you should do is you should also invest in it. You do give them the 2 cards once, but then after that you make it a little bit uncomfortable for them whether or not they want to buy from that pile. Anyways, the 2 cards, look at what I did. Oops, I got them up to Altar if they want it. I would want it. I would take the Altar. Seems like a very good card here. But the issue with the Altar, now that the Mystics have been exiled, is what do you gain with it? So I guess that is what the Pixie thought of, and they went for a gold instead of the Altar, and also a gold instead of a Mystic. Just keep that in mind. Perhaps my investment did deter them from the Mystic there. Maybe. Anyways, Madman comes with my terminals. We're happy to see that. I have a few choices here, right? I will play the Hermit, obviously, but I can get another Madman if I want. And also, I didn't mention this. This is an important part of the kingdom as well, the Way of the Turtle, because I feel like none of us realized Way of the Turtle until later. I definitely missed it in the first half of the game. And then by the time I realized, I think it was a little too late in terms of how I structured my deck. So what I'm going to do here, Hermit, gain back the Hermit, signal in Madman, and I'm going to make another investment. What am I going to invest in? I am going to invest in a different pile this time, and I choose Hermits. And this is where understanding the kingdom a little bit better would have helped me to make a better choice. Should have invested in Sheepdog. There's a cute trick here. You could, if you have Sheepdogs in your deck, right, and there's a gainer, Hermit, right? So your hand, for example, imagine this Madman was a Sheepdog. You could gain something with Hermit, That'll trigger the sheepdog, and then I think the game will ask you, do you want to play this or do you want it to become a turtle? Sheep turtle. Turtle dog? I don't know. So you could store sheepdogs on the turtle with one action. So you get the hermit play, plus you get to put the sheepdog aside or draw if you want, if you know your next two cards. Now, if you have many sheepdogs, you could potentially draw the whole deck if they chain. Didn't see that until later. Okay. Pixie now. Triggers their Madman. Hermit comes out. The reason why I invested in the Hermit was to deter the Pixie from going for any more Madmen. But they pick up Sheepdog instead. Maybe they saw the Sheepdog Turtle thing from the beginning. I don't know. I certainly didn't, and that reflects in my invest by last turn. So here, they also invest, and let's see what their investment choice is. Let me skip. They invested in a Mystic. So they gave me the two cards, right? They gave me the two cards. That is interesting. And not something I expected. I expected them to avoid the Mystic pile entirely. But here, what that tells me is at some point they want to offload all of their exiled Mystics into their deck. At some point. I don't know when that point is, how many Mystics they want, but at some point that'll happen. Anyways, I take my two cards. I enjoy it. It does mean that I can set aside one of these actions if I want, because I've drawn so much of my deck. I don't need to play the Madman. I do get the Ambassador play in, returning 2 coppers. So now I'm a little bit thinner than the Pixie, I think. But like I said, I don't think that is very important here. And I take a silver because, well, money, you know? Now the Pixie was able to put a Madman on the way of the turtle. So they have a great option available to them whenever. And they take it on this turn, drawing up to 10 cards in hand. So they have lots of options. The Ambassador comes out. And the Hermit, I believe, also comes out. Let me skip a little bit. Okay, so they put a Sheepdog aside with the way of the turtle. That's just doing it the ordinary way. They didn't see the Hermit. They have 6. And I believe here is where they offloaded those exiled Mystics. Yeah. So they have 3 Mystics in the deck now. And I don't think they will buy anymore because my investment is still there. So they played through my investment, right? They gave me 2 cards twice. Can I punish them for that is the question. Let's see. I don't know. Here I am going to get a Sheepdog. I think it's about this point where I realize, yeah, the Sheepdog and Hermit thing is quite strong actually. And I get a gold here. The reason for the gold is because I didn't notice they took the Mystics off the exile mat. I thought they still had their investment on the Mystic, so I didn't want to get any Mystics. That was wrong, obviously. Anyways, another Madman for the Pixie. Lets them draw their whole deck. Ambassador gains me a copper. Look how much work Sheepdog is doing. Lets me draw a couple of cards there. Great news for me. They get up to 8. I mean, it's a Madman turn, so they will have a lot of money. So they get the province there with that Madman turn. I'm going to gain more Sheepdog and pick up my first province as well here. Now, they had a Mystic in play from Way of the Turtle. So what this allows them to do, this turtle, is it allows them to spread out their money. Right? So there, I guess they saw that they needed it. They played the Mystic and got up to 8, which I was kind of surprised by. I didn't think their deck could get 2 in a row. But okay, cheers. That's the draw sometimes. Here, Hermit, what I'm going to do here is gain a Madman, right? And invest in his Sheepdogs. So I don't want my opponent gaining any more Sheepdogs because now I realize how important it is. Also, I might take down that Sheepdog at some point later to get that massive draw we were talking about earlier. So Mystic comes out. For them, they play a Sheepdog and they draw into exact money for a province again. That is 3 consecutive turns. That is, I don't know, that was beyond my expectation, really. I go for a second gold here Mystic again. Mystic guesses copper correctly. They're at the end of the deck, so they should know what is on top. Mystic here reveals gold. So I know they have a gold on top of their deck. They didn't get to province here, thankfully. But duchy is still good for them. Now at this point, I realize I need to catch up. How do I do that? Well, madman. There is storeroom on the board, and I am going to get that storeroom at some point. The altar there is for the duchies to catch up with, right? So no province again from the Pixie here, so stalling out after 3 provinces, but this do start in on the sheepdogs now that I've moved my investment. Second province for me there. I think I have to take that province. It does put the pile a little bit lower, but I need to get some number of provinces, you know. Sheepdog goes into turtle there for the Pixie. Still no province from them here. So I'm feeling reasonable about my chances. I have all the pieces set up that I need to catch up, right? Madman. I have some number of sheepdogs. I have an altar to gain duchies, and I have the storeroom for the plus buy. So here we go. The idea here was altar is a gainer. That gainer will trigger my sheepdog. So I gain the duchy. I play all my sheepdog. And guess what is missing? Guess what the bottom 2 cards of the deck were? If you've been paying attention, you know exactly what the bottom 2 cards are. They are Hermit and the very important plus buy storeroom. And I thought I had double province here with that storeroom. And double province in this position would be very strong. Look at the points situation. 15 to 18, I would go up to 27. So let's just step back a little bit to count how much money we had, right? Okay, so in this position, had I seen my storeroom, imagine the ambassador is the storeroom, right? I would play it and convert those 2 provinces into 2 coin. So that would be 2 plus 3 copper, 5, and 4 is 9, and 6 is 15. So I am actually short. I'm actually short, but is the principle, the rudeness of the RNG. Even if it fell short, province duchy is something there, you know? Province duchy in that position gives me 24 to 18. And it might make the decision to buy the penultimate province more difficult. Anyway, so I miss my storeroom. It's here. Thank you, storeroom. Here, the Pixie takes the chance and goes for the province here. I mean, they did play most of their mystics as well as their sheepdog and their 1 gold, I think. So, or maybe they have 2 gold. So they took their chance with the province. Risky. I have my storeroom. If they didn't see it last time, they know I have it here. So I could draw into a couple gold and take the game here. It is unlikely, but it could happen. No, it doesn't happen. I don't see it. And not only do I miss there, they get province here, which was depressing. Really, that was this one was very deflating. I thought I had the double province, right? And that didn't work out. And then, okay, they got the province off that big hand with double sheepdog, mystic, whatever. But then they reshuffled, and then they just had it presented to them. Just that was frustrating for me to see there. Because maybe I had it in that hand. You saw both my gold, plus I had the altar. Could gain a duchy, maybe draw into the money that I need for the last province. Anyways, we lose that one as well. My main issue with this game is that I didn't recognize the sheepdog interaction early enough, and I think that hurt me in the end. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.